for. So again, we're very, very pleased that you were here to come on in with us, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff. A little, tell the folks a little bit about if they haven't heard of In the Whale, what kind of music it is, what In the Whale is, and all that good stuff to break it on down just to start.
We're a two-piece rock and roll band, high energy. Tour around. We're from Denver, Colorado, or we live now in Denver, Colorado. Started out in Greeley, Colorado, and glad to be here. Got a show tonight in Ft.Collins at Surfside 7.
Good stuff. And you guys are promoting your new EP that just came out.
That's right.
Good stuff, man. Tell us about when this came out and the name of it. And
this came out late last year. It's called Quicksand. It was produced by Bill Stevenson. He's the drummer for both Flag and the Descendants. And his studio is up in Ft.Collins called the Blasting Room.
Was it a lot different this time when you guys went in and did this kind of stuff? Because this is the first time with him and
Right.
in his studio. And, tell us, a little bit about how you hooked up with the guy and then maybe the differences between what you were doing before as opposed to what you have now.
Originally, we were doing a lot of producing and self-recording, and we worked with a few other people before, but they were always kind of in different studios and such. But this one, we reached out to Bill, and he had just got done with his open heart surgery and was replying to us from the hospital about booking the time and everything.
Talk about a guy that never stops working, huh?
That's right. Yeah, he was pretty adamant about getting everything worked out, and went in there and we spent a whole day with him just working through songs and making sure everything was good and that everything sounded great. And it was a really great experience. Pretty simple, straightforward. We worked with him, and then the engineer was Jason Livermore. So those two are pretty top-notch crew. So it was great to work with them.
Awesome. And then did you notice a lot of big differences or as far as maybe discipline or the way you guys went about doing things in the studio as opposed to, maybe you guys, I don't know, did you guys just kind of do it on your own and
there was a lot more preparation for this record for sure. We spent a lot of time just working over the songs and getting it ready on our end before we even met up with Bill. In the past, we have done a lot of pre-managing and getting everything together beforehand. But this was just a different level at which we went at it. And getting in the studio and working with Bill and Jason, it was eye-opening and just how great things could be. And I think we learned a lot from doing it with those guys.
Did it in your mind take it to a whole nother level?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what we've been told by just friends and fans and people that are in the music industry, saying that this record is a lot more polished and kind of together for us, which is good.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I love it. And when I first heard the EP, I myself said, wow, this is just this is powerful stuff. It's much more, I don't know, I guess tight, I suppose, if you would. I mean, the other stuff was tight as well, but it seemed like a little less, a little looser. You know, I you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
The attitude, you could see the attitude in the production,
right?
I suppose is what if you can actually see attitude in production.
Right.
I'm here with Nate Valdez. He is one half of In the Whale. We are very, very pleased to have him on in the studio. And Nate actually said he was going to go ahead and play a little something for us too. So I said, hey, let's not object to that in any way, shape, or form. So go ahead and let us know what song you are going to play, and whatever, just hit it when you're ready, man.
Yeah, this is American Eyes, and it's off the Quicksand EP that we just put out with Bill Stevenson. Sit down and rest your eyes. You've had too much and you're no shape to drive. All you want is for something real, a place to call home or some time to heal. All I really want you to see, I loved you more than you ever loved me. American eyes, star-spangled and full of pride. American eyes, star-spangled and so full of pride. Well, I guess you know it all. And when you place your bets in fool's gold, when all I really want you to see, I gave you more than you ever gave me. American eyes, star-spangled and full of pride. American eyes, star-spangled and so full of pride. American eyes, star-spangled and full of pride. American eyes, star-spangled and so full of pride. Let me go. Let me go. Every soldier living on the street can tell you what it means to need. I gave it all, I did my best. American eyes, star-spangled and full of pride. American eyes, star-spangled and so full of pride. American eyes, star-spangled and full of pride. American eyes, star-spangled and so full of pride.
Good stuff. American Eyes, In the Whale. Nate, a solo kind of acoustic version. Great stuff, man. He didn't miss a beat, man. And one of the songs, again, you will hear tonight and at Ft.Collins. And where is that going to be? Hody's Half Note?
No, Surfside 7.
Surfside 7, my bad.
We wanted to do a smaller room this time. We like to have it like people all kind of crowded in and such. So we decided to go there.
You're still afraid that you might get that little half circle right in front of the stage, the imaginary half circle line.
Yeah, that one line that everyone's like, I can't go. Can't go that much farther.
Does that drive you crazy sometimes when you're playing and you see like everybody's jamming, but they've got this like space in front of you, and you're like,
right.
Well, come right on up to the front.
Well, we used to it used to be like something like, why is everyone standing back? But now. Well, I guess early on when we started doing shows, we were just like, yeah, just ignore that because we're going to play what we're going to play. And people seem to get what we're doing now. So,
good stuff, man. And again, make sure to catch those guys up there at Surfside 7 right there in Ft.Collins.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a great show. Should be packed out, especially as if he said it's a small place.
Yeah, it's a small.
You're going to blow the roof off of it, man.
It's a good place, man. They've moved locations. It used to be down there on College Avenue, and I think they moved around the corner. But it's nice, good little pizza place to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Anybody who's up there is in for a treat. That's for sure. I wanted to talk a little bit about this song, American Eyes. It's definitely something that you put a lot of thought in. Let's talk a little bit about some of the lyrics. Star Spangled.
Yeah.
Full of pride. Is that to be taken in somewhat of a cynical view?
No, not necessarily. It meant to be in a cynical view. I grew up loving America, and I still, to some degree, really, really love America, and I love everything that.
There's lots to love, man. There's lots to love.
Lots of love, and so there's nothing about that's negative. It's mostly an observation of just traveling around the United States and seeing how people react, and seeing that even though we're such a wonderful, great place, there's still people that hurt. Be it that they're homeless or veterans that are not taken care of. It's important to realize that even though you may be the most powerful or influential place, arguably in the world,
Right. You have the most money, the most wealth,
and your own are still hurting. You need to mostly just observe that and be mindful of those people.
Yeah,
you're only as strong as you are as from the bottom up.
Exactly right. And once we start kind of losing ourselves, like let's say you do achieve big fame, which I certainly foresee that, but with that becomes the money, and then you become and then after a while you start kind of changing into someone else, and you start you don't, I guess, regard life or human life as the same as some folks kind of tear it out like I'm better than that person that took the pizza out of the out of the trash can that I was going to throw away because hey, that I'm just looking at it differently than than what you're saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I'm bringing it all down to zero, man. Sorry about that. Good stuff, though, Americanized. And I see that you guys have done such a lot of touring in the last couple of years, especially since the last time we've had you in here.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about some of your travels and some of the better places that you really enjoyed and gotten huge responses from.
I think since last time we had spoke, I guess it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's now that we've passed the year.
I know it's been about two years. We've put the last 2 years we've done 136 shows a year.
Yes.
For the last 2 years.
Yes. Now that's a hard-working band. That is a hard-working band.
You're not going to get anywhere if you're going to just sit at home, I guess.
That's right. That's right.
So we put a lot of miles on. We've blown up an engine since then. We've replaced an engine. We've done Canada twice. We're going to Europe in next month.
Oh, you're going to blow them away out there.
I hope so. We've really been told lots of good things, so I'm humbly, patiently ready.
Yeah, it always could go one way or the other, but
Right.
I have a feeling,
Right. So we're looking forward to it. Last year was a hard year. A lot of touring and a lot of just internal stuff for the band. Having to change, having to adapt, and we're stronger for it.
Right.
But just glad to be home for a little bit right now. As I say this, we're leaving today.
Okay. No, it's all good, man.
But we're doing good, and
it's a mark of a hard-working band, baby. You got to just do what you got to do to get out there, and like you said, if you're sitting in your grandma's basement or in your basement or whatever you're doing, and you're not doing it, and I'm just writing, and you're not actually going out there and working, then well, look at where you are and look at where he is.
I mean, not to say that everyone's like this, but when I was sitting in a basement just writing and writing and writing, there was a lot of learning as well. Not saying that someone's just sitting down there just blowing smoke around.
I know. See, I'm the one that just is just like the big jerk around here. I don't understand anything. But that's how I learn as well, dude. I'm not a musician. I'm a broadcaster or a wannabe broadcaster, and sometimes I see things differently than a lot of these guys, a lot of you musicians do. And so, and I like it. I open it up, and it makes me a better person, I think, at the end of the day. Awesome stuff, man. Right. We have Nate from In the Whale. He is in here. He is excited. They're about ready to embark on a tour. Tell us a little bit about the tour coming up. Is it a long tour? Or is it just a little deal?
It's a little short run, and it's mostly to hit some markets that we really enjoy, just to kind of reestablish that we're still around, and we're because when you travel so much, it's hard to keep everything relevant in a certain market unless you have a lot of money to go and throw at an area or something like that for promotion. For us, we really love Ft.Collins, so we're going to go up there and play. We're also going up to Billings, Montana, which is another one that's just kind of a nice little short run to get out and around, and do some filming and do some little bit of recording, and then come back.
Are you guys do your own videos, or do you have a production company that kind of helps you out? Or
we have a few friends that have known the band for a while that have helped us out. We're going to be releasing a video, I think, early this year. No set on the date yet, but stay tuned for that. And
we will. And hey, let the folks know where they can get a hold of all the information, what, In the Whale is doing. I know you guys are real hot on the social scene.
That's right.
On the social info. I love your Instagram stuff that you guys do. That's awesome, because you guys are one of the few guys that are really, you get real creative with it. You use props and you take meaningful pictures that people remember.
Yeah, thank you. Our socials, Instagram is _the_whale. There is a person that has In the Whale. I don't think it's even active, but someone has it. That's fine.
Somebody has to have it.
That's right. That's fine. In the Whale on Twitter. And then also just In the Whale if you Facebook or if you Google us. Our website will come up, and it's inthewhalesucks.com.
In the Whale Sucks, which they do not, but they like to put it out there.
That's right.
Because they're a couple of humble dudes, man, definitely. Let's talk a little bit about Eric. We last time he wasn't here, and this time he wasn't here. I guess that's the deal. Eric doesn't do interviews. No.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
No,
why not, man? It's just shtick, right? Just teasing. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about him and how you guys kind of met up. I'm sure you're gonna cover that again, but why not? Let's talk about that and how In the Whale progressed.
We met up in Greeley, Colorado. I was going to school, and at the time Eric was working. The scene is real small, so we played a lot of shows together in different bands and became friends. Through that Greeley scene, I did a lot of house parties or rock show house parties. And I had recorded, a record, all of my acoustic things in Minnesota years ago, and gave it to Eric, and he was interested and said it would be cool to have a drummer on it. So I thought it was a great idea. We started playing music together, and eventually over 4 EPs that will never be seen the light of day, we eventually got to where we were with the EP Cake.
So when you were doing before that EP and before you guys were doing it, you were doing solo stuff by yourself, or were you with a band? Or
well, I had written a bunch of music, so my old band was disintegrating at the time because people were moving away, and
right,
that's fine. Nothing
things change.
Yeah, things change.
No bad blood.
Bad blood.
Right.
And I was still in a place where I wanted to create music, so I started writing a bunch of stuff that was more, I guess, just acoustic stuff, kind of riffing acoustic stuff.
Right.
Eric really liked it and thought it would be cool to have a percussion behind it. And eventually we just kind of morphed into an electric sound.
That's cool that you guys kind of maintained, closeness through emails and files and sending each other stuff, and, I'm sure that's how it kind of happened, right? I mean,
well, yeah, there's a lot of I just physically gave him the EP that I had written.
Yeah. And
he called me one day out of the blue and was like, "Hey, you want to play music together?" I go, "Okay."
Why not, huh? Why not? Good stuff here. We're going to roll right on into one of the songs, the opening song from the new EP, Quicksand. And real quick, tell us why you guys came up with the name Quicksand, what it means to you guys. And
like I said about us traveling around, you see a lot of things that are going on in the world, and a lot of things, what you're being bombarded with in either entertainment or social media or politically or non-politically, just everything around you seems to be like a quicksand where it pulls you in, and if you keep trying to fight against it, no matter how hard you try, you keep getting pulled down further and further. And it's kind of a realization of, hey, you don't have to, or it's not really giving any answers per se, but just to be aware.
Be aware, indeed. It's there, and hey, you could step in it at any time. I get it. Hey, all right, good stuff, man. We're going to start off with this song called L.A. I want you to describe this before we get into it, because anybody who's actually ever been out there and in a car and tried to drive at least 20 miles, I think they can understand. Is that kind of how it works?
Well, yeah, basically. Yeah, this song came from, we had toured with the Toadies for about a month, and I was very sick when we got back to Denver. Last show, the tour. The next morning, I had to fly out at 6 a.m. to LA to do a show. I was very sick, very nauseous. I just couldn't hardly sing, but I had to go and fly.
Just flu-like things or whatever?
No, it was like I couldn't breathe, just really bad, really sick. flew to LA, play the show, wrote the song. It's kind of where it came from.
Well, right on. Without any further ado, this song is called LA. We have Nate from In the Whale in the studio.
It starts off slow.
Yeah.
Don't make me go to LA!
In the Whale, indeed. Good stuff, man. Love your music. I love the style. It's just biting and it's hard. And then I think the thing that blows a lot of folks away is that it's just you and Eric and a drum set and a guitar, and bam, you guys blow the roof off of every place you go.
Thank you.
Indeed.
We early on, he and I, like being friends in Greeley, went to so many shows, and people just looked like they were bored of playing the music that they're passionate about, supposedly.
Right.
So for us, we were like, why don't we just play the music we want to play, that we're excited about, and we'll keep going as long as that still happens, as long as.
Well, you know what? If you're excited about it, then everybody's excited about it.
Right.
It translates. It moves off of the airwaves or whatever it is into your brains, and it makes you feel good, man. And when you're there at a show, it's like you said, it's high energy, man.
Yeah.
I like how you don't really kind of like to, I guess, pigeonhole yourself into like a genre. I just call it hard rock. I think that's pretty much what covers it.
Right.
I know a lot of folks are, well, they're not metal, they're not, folk or whatever, man. What drives you guys to play that kind of music that you guys have, whether it's the hard rock, other than playing soul or funk or anything else, man?
We grew up, both of us, listening to a lot of the harder rock kind of, I guess, mainstream rock, and then a lot of punk rock when we were younger. So they're big influential factors in our being from the beginning. So to play those things, they move you on in a certain way that someone that didn't grow up listening to punk rock would actually get, or someone that listened to hard rock as a kid, or that didn't listen to hard rock as a kid, wouldn't understand. But much like, you feel it down in you.
You feel it in you, man. And it's got to come out. Right. Just like Muddy Waters used to say, man, back in the day. You feel a lot of that, though. I mean, a lot of soul in that when you actually are playing, even though I know that sounds funny, but I feel it. And when you guys play, there's there's a spirit, there's an energy in the building.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go out tonight to Surfside
7. You've got it.
Out there in Fort Collins, you will feel what I'm feeling. I'm telling you what, man, it's not a joke.
Love it.
Not a joke. Indeed. We have Nate from In the Whale, and he is in here in the studio, and we are breaking it right on down with him, and good stuff. And I like the way you guys had set up. I guess, do you guys have to set up differently in different venues according to maybe the size of the stage?
We always set up in the front, so always it's usually not a big problem. The only problem we really have is like in a smaller venue, they don't have a lot of resources, like longer cables to move, and we just do it anyway. I mean,
Hey,
when you do what you do and you set up the way you do, that's your thing, you know. It's like,
I like how Eric is kind of set up a little bit catty corner. He's not really facing, or at least some of the shows I've seen, he's not really facing the audience like a traditional.
Sideways.
Yeah, he's sideways, like he's facing you.
right.
I kind of get that you guys need that to kind of cue off of each other as you're playing. Is that
We
kinda
also
have anything to do with it?
with two guys, it's kind of hard to fill a lot of space. So with having him sideways, it engages people in the fact that he can also be a front man as well. So not just me having to speak, but if you go to our shows, you'll hear that the majority of the speaking comes from Eric.
Yeah.
And that's because we want to acknowledge that it's, hey, it's just two guys. He's set up sideways, he's accessible, so to speak,
Right. Good stuff, man. I like that. When you guys have gone to a lot of places where people haven't heard you before, and my story, I've told it a dozen times on here. I went to the show, I didn't know what to expect,
right?
And I couldn't actually see you guys right away, and when I saw that it was just you two guys, I was like, wow. And it blew me away. Do you get a lot of like that, where like people are just like, wow, like,
Yeah. A lot of time we'll get it at the very, like, people will come up to us and like, I didn't know it's two guys.
I didn't know. Yeah.
This is crazy. And we do ourselves no real justice. We try to set the bar as low as possible because we just dress normal. We don't have like a scene look, and people are turned off by that.
I
sometimes.
was just going to go into that a little bit and ask you kind of why you guys kind of do
we just dress how we are. You know? I mean, there's no real, we're not here to impress really anybody but ourselves, so
that's a great way to
be
go
who you are,
That's a great
it
way.
Would be no good if we were to go and fake who we were,
There you go, man. Most people like myself have to fake their way through 80% of their lives.
Oh, that's not saying we don't fake our way through with other ways, but
I hear you, man. Hopefully not a whole lot of faking going on right here. Indeed, we have Nate from In the Whale, and indeed they're going to be playing up there at Surfside 7 tonight at Fort Collins. So make sure you go and check it out, especially if you're up there in the area. What are you going to be doing anyway? Studying? Don't do that tonight.
Yeah,
Just
forget studying.
go check In the Whale. Indeed, awesome stuff, man. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have done prior to this CD. You have the two EPs.
Yeah,
with your like self-titled, I suppose.
Yeah.
EPs.
So we have it starts off with Cake, and then we have the Nate and the Eric, and then we did Full Nelson as well. And that one came out 2 years ago, I guess now, because it's 2017, right?
Right.
And then Quicksand last year, and just working on this one right now, promoting it, getting it out there, doing videos for it. Getting people excited and taking our terrible stuff over to Europe now.
Yeah, so this isn't new. This isn't a new gig for you guys. Indeed, this is your fourth or fifth EP going on. So we're having a good time with it. I'm going to go ahead and play the song 7/13/2014, if that is all right with you.
Yeah.
And I'd like for you to kind of just go ahead and explain what that might mean to you, what the dates mean, or what any of that stuff.
It's
before we go into it.
It's a specific song that's about people that have depression, as well as people that it's kind of an anti-suicide help song. This date specific because it was regards to when a kid was bullied into ending his life, and it's to raise awareness that you're not alone, and there's people out there that can help. It's from the point of view of the person that antagonized the individual.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a heavy song, but
It is a heavy song, but I do like the fact that you raise awareness about these kinds of things. You guys don't shy away. Your band isn't all parties and girls and rock and roll.
yeah,
You
we're pretty
guys
square.
you touch on other things that are relevant. Things that actually I guess affect you in your own personal lives. Which a lot of folks a lot of bands are like, well, that's too heavy. We're not going to touch that subject. Well, all that good stuff, but it's still in you, man. So,
Right.
Tell us about why you decide to actually, pursue that.
It just, when something you read about or you hear about something and it strikes a chord in you, and you feel like someone needs to hear about this. Why is this not being pushed out more? Or people need to know that there's places you can go to get help, and that you shouldn't have to be alone. When I'm not on tour, I work predominantly in a mortuary part-time, and I get to see the backside of what's going on with the world. And I do see a lot of people that have come in because they've killed themselves or something. It's heavy.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So I know that there's people out there hurting, and I just want people to know that that's, there's somebody out there for you.
Yeah, and every once in a while, that offhand, that off the cuff remark you make to make your buddies laugh, it could be a hell of a lot more hurtful than just the joke itself. So,
Right.
I don't know, something about having some sensitivity towards others.
Right.
Indeed. All right, this song, it is In the Whale, 7/13/2014. Great stuff. In the Whale, Nate Valdez and Eric. I don't remember his last name, but good stuff from those guys, man. And indeed, Nate had to go out and feed the meter real quick, but he'll be right back on in here, man. Good stuff. Make sure to catch them tonight at Surfside 7 in Ft.Collins. They will be there melting it right on down and blowing the roof off of the place, man. And look at you, man. You are multi-talented. And you run a 50-yard sprint down the block, feed the meter, and come right back on in with 10 seconds to spare almost.
Perfect.
Well, almost. It was good stuff. Speaking of multi-talented, you play the guitar and you sing. Did you always start out doing that?
I started out actually playing drums. I started out playing drums, and I was not very good. Still not any good, really. I could just kind of hold it together barely.
You could maybe keep the beat.
Yeah, just
maybe.
Kind of. But I have a thing with speeding up and slowing down in the middle of a section. So
right,
I just know that about myself,
Doesn't seem to be a problem with the guitar.
Right.
So you switched over to guitar.
I actually went to bass
first. You went to bass. How about that?
Yeah.
Did the singing? Was the singing always there? Or?
Bands and things like that no one else in the band could sing. So they're like, well, maybe Nate, you can. So as a bass player, I would step up and sing and all that. And then eventually I got better than the guy who was playing guitar and took over guitar and singing and just kind of pushed my way up, I guess.
Yeah, all right. And it sounds great now. I mean, yeah, obviously you're very comfortable with it. I would think that it would be kind of difficult for me. I can barely, chew gum and walk at the same time, but, to do both and to pull it off as well as you can, man.
Thank you.
Years of practice.
Yeah, lots of practice.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And how long did you start? Like, did you start, when you transitioned from drums to bass? Were you like maybe 12 or 13, or were you older?
I was about 14 years old, and in the span of a year, I just went from drums, bass to guitar. At about the age of 15, I started playing guitar predominantly.
I mean, just doing it because you wanted to, because there was nothing else to do. You didn't play football.
Was in football. I was in all sports as I could be.
Right. Okay.
I was from a small town though, so there was not a lot to do. I guess you could either go out and party and get in trouble, or you could stay at home and learn guitar. Mm-hmm. I opted for the second.
And now you're here and not in jail. I like
that's
that.
Right. That's right. Not yet, anyway.
Well, no, man. You guys, I guess maybe for some noise ordinances or something like that, perhaps that might be the case.
We have been stopped a few times because of volume.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I wanted to talk real quick. You guys, one of the, I guess, I would think that would be one of the main points in your young career was, I don't know if you headlined the tent, but I know they had a Colorado tent at South by Southwest. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was actually a part of the official South by Southwest, but you guys were there.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I'm sure that was
this last South by.
Yeah. The first one, the last one, and every time you guys go.
Jeez, man. I mean, we've been going for I guess 4 or 5 years now. I think there's one in that time. There was 1 year we took off, but it's kind of a blur, it feels like a blur because I've been in Austin, Texas last year, I think 6 times playing.
Really?
Yeah. So 5 or 6, something like that. The last day of the year we played Austin, Texas.
Right. So you guys are getting asked to come back repeatedly.
We've been around
and starting to become quite a band out there. And that's a big time deal, especially for some folks. They got Austin stamped on the head, and you're automatically you're the best. That's just some folks. I mean, I kind of revere it as like that's kind of like a stepping stone to where the nation starts to hear you.
Right.
You kind of stop becoming so much of a local band and you start becoming more of a regional band. Right.
We're definitely built from that regional standpoint. We have done a lot of touring with national bands, and in a way we get, I think we're well on our way to being in that realm as well. Just hard work and time and patience and working. I'm learning patience at the age of 30.
Well,
now, I'm just starting to learn patience.
Well, hey, you know what? It's a virtue, and it comes. And when it comes, you can deal with it, man. I
Yeah.
suppose. I'm not real patient either. So I'm,
Neither am I. I like to go. Case in point, today we have like 3 interviews, so it's like, just pack it all in.
Yeah,
Just go.
You're doing it up, man. And of course, this indeed will be the funnest and most mind-boggling interview you've done.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Right here. We are talking with Nate Valdez, one half of In the Whale. And indeed, they are going to be playing tonight at Surfside 7 up there in Ft.Collins. So if you're in and around the area, get yourself a good pizza and enjoy In the Whale.
That's right.
I was telling some folks that never heard of you before,
right?
And I just gave the name out, In the Whale, and they they both laughed, and one of them said, "What is that? Is that BBW porn?" What?
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
We get that a lot of.
We get all sorts of weird, terrible things, like from either being it's a biblical reference, or it's something to do with Pinocchio. Or like you just said, it's like, wow, from one spectrum to the other.
Combination of all three.
And maybe, Eric always jokes that it's the hardest thing on the planet to figure out a band name. And it's so true, so something that may make sense to you or to someone else, it's like, well, that means, is that porn?
It may not make any sense at all and just be a combination of words that sound good together, but that's what you're going to build your brand on. And that's what I enjoy about you guys. You guys you've had this name for a while, and there's other bands that have names that are close to it, so I'm sure every once in a while you get
the Whales, there's Or the Whale, there's Said the Whale, and they're like all acoustic UK bands.
Right.
And then if you Google us, you're just like, whoa, this is not. We had someone in San Francisco show up to our show, and after the show, she's like, I came to see Or the Whale, and I thought you were them. You are not them, but I'm glad I came.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, great.
See,
so at least you liked it.
A lot of folks I would imagine that would go see those bands are open-minded as well, and and saw the true talent what you had and went with it, man.
That's I guess stuff,
so. Indeed, true talent, man. Nate and Eric, 2-man band, just blow your brains out. Anywhere you go, they turn it up loud and they rock it hard, man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
They are In the Whale. You got one more that you might want to play? I kind of go ahead and let us know what you got, and we'll break it on down, man.
I think I want to play our song "Male," and it's a fan favorite, and we don't play it very often live because our shows are so rock and roll, but it's an acoustic song that we had released an EP ago on Full Nelson, and I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys do as well.
All right, hit it.
Went down to Vegas and I sold my soul, picked up guitar, learned rock and roll. Went down to Vegas and I sold my soul, Lord, please change my ways. Went out, drank up all my money, spent it all on the devil's honey. Went out, drank up all my money, Lord, please change my ways. Change my ways. Went out, found me a woman of the night, made her tempt me till the morning light. Went out, found me a woman of the night, Lord, please change my ways. Smoking, drinking, rock and roll, ain't no way to save your soul. Smoking, drinking, rock and roll, Lord, please change my ways. Change my ways. Well, I reckon I ain't no good. I ain't behaving like I should. No, 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 no. They got me a seat in hell. That's just fine. I hear it's nice. I'll send mail. Forgive me, baby, I ain't done you right. Made you worry, burn up your night. Forgive me, baby, I ain't done you right. Lord, please change my ways. Lord, I ain't got nothing to show. I pissed away my youth, let my sinning grow. Lord, I ain't got nothing to show. Lord, please change my ways. Change my ways. Well, I reckon I ain't no good. I'm behaving like I should. No, 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 no. Got me a seat in hell. That's just fine. I hear it's nice. I'll send mail. Well, that's just fine. I hear it's nice. I'll send mail.
All right, good stuff, man. I can imagine when you guys play that song that when you say "I'll send mail," there's always the Jack Daniels guy in the back. Woo!
Yeah, one guy. Yeah, turn up.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, like you said, you don't play it very often in your regular shows, so we really do enjoy that special treat right here, man. Thank you so much, man. Awesome stuff. It is Nate Valdez, one half of In the Whale. He just likes to be called Nate, but I like to fully empower the name.
Yeah, Nate or Grandma, Old Man Valdez, one of those. They all work.
Old man, does that mean that you're kind of the more conservative of the two, you guys?
I just drive like a grandma mostly.
Is
so
that what it is? That's
yeah,
what it is.
I'm not and I'm not the one that used to go around and shoot fireworks out of his face and stuff like that. So
Did you really do that at one time?
I've been.
You had some crazy times.
I've changed a lot, and I've grown as an adult, and things have been more weighted on my mind lately.
Right. Well, the fireworks gigs is only funny once.
Only funny ones.
Indeed. They are in the Whale. Check them out tonight, man. They are going to be at Surfside 7 up there in Ft.Collins, a smaller venue, but like I said, they should rock the place to death. So make sure that you bring your earplugs if you're sensitive.
That's right.
Indeed. You guys you've talked about actually being they told you to turn it down.
There's been a few shows that I've played throughout the last couple of years that have been. We knew it was going to be a bad situation from the beginning, where you would show up at the venue, which is a restaurant and a venue. It's not just predominantly just for music. This place is actually used for people and their family to eat. Yeah. I've done. Not saying I'm a know-it-all, but I've done a lot of this where you could tell this is going to be bad. This is going to be this is a bad situation to be in. You don't want to necessarily be there because you want to.
You want to bring your full show.
Yeah,
right?
You're going to bring your full show. And we always do, and sometimes you just get shut down.
And they just tell you, "Oh, son, that's too loud." The little girl trying to eat that spaghetti in the corner.
We have too many people complaining, so you got to stop. Okay.
So, is that just do you guys not get paid? You just break it down and just sorry? It
depends on the situation. Sometimes, the majority of the time, the promoter's like, "Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Here's the money," and those are nice situations. I'm not saying we wouldn't work with those people again ever. We'd just be a little more in tune with what we're doing.
And they know as well.
Yeah,
I think the second time around, we're not gonna, bring.
Yeah, we're not gonna go to
these pizza parlor.
No more Olive Garden shows.
Yeah, exactly. But it is fun though to do that every once in a while and to get away with it, I suppose, huh?
I guess so.
Have you had that too, where
it works?
You're like, whoa, they actually went through the whole thing, and all right, good stuff. Man.
There's been a few shows where you show up and it's. You expect this not to go over well at all or be anywhere near okay, and it turns out to be one of the more fun shows you've ever done.
Nice, good stuff, man. It is Nate from In the Whale. Him and his buddy Eric are going to be playing tonight at Surfside 7. And again, don't look for anybody else. It's just two guys.
That's right.
Indeed, man. Going to play one last cut from the CD. We don't want to play everything here, so I'm going to go ahead and let you choose which song that you want to play that we have left that we haven't played, and I'm going to go ahead and play it. I want you to, of course, break it on down and tell us the deal. And a little bit before that, I also would like to talk about that artwork that you have on there. It's toy soldiers, the kind that we all used to play with when we were little kids and all that. Is that your concept, or is
it was a developed concept around the name? So the idea of being overwhelmed, and if you look at the artwork, there's two soldiers that are green and the rest of them are a different color, signifying that they're being overpowered, or signifying that they're at odds of what's going on. They're being surrounded, so to speak. So that's where the artwork came from, and it was kind of the concept, from Quicksand. That's being the name. I haven't looked at this in a long time.
Did you guys commission someone to do this for you?
Yes, we did. The photos were done by Daily Planet was the name of the group, and they took the photos and they did such a great job. Very, very happy with how it turned out.
Now, is this something that you guys together, I guess, choose the artwork, or is it a separate, company or whatever it was, to somebody that promotes you guys to help put this together? How's that work?
It comes from the band and management, where we talk everything out and say, okay, well, this is the idea, the name that I want to put with this group of songs. Do you have any ideas or concepts for the artwork? And then you kind of spitball a few ideas, and then, okay, well, let's farm this out to someone and see what they can do. And from that point on, we go and ask people like, hey, what would you do for a concept like this? Would you be able to execute it properly? And our motif for all of our records have been a physical picture. It's never been like drawn or a graphic. If you look at Cake, that was a physical cake that I had someone make, and we took a picture of it.
Nice.
For Nate and Eric, those are physical pictures of our faces.
Right.
For Full Nelson, those are two kids that are friends of the band that wrestle all the time and try and knock each other out all the time.
That live action photo. It looks so cool.
There's always it's always been a image. So with that in mind, we take these ideas and thoughts and give it to somebody, and then let them create the art that they're envisioning as well.
Awesome. All right, man. Did you figure out a song?
Let's go Galaxy.
All right. And real quick, tell us a little bit about that one, and
Galaxy,
then we'll run right into it.
Galaxy is the way out in this EP. For me, growing up, cars and vehicles were the escape from whatever was going on. You could always, no matter how bad things were, if you had the freedom of getting your license when you're young and driving away and not having to look back in the rearview mirror. The Galaxy in this, if you can see, it's spelled IE, Galaxie.
Right.
That's a Ford Galaxy, and that's how they spell it. They don't use the Y. So people are like, hey, you spelled that wrong. Like, no,
not really.
Talk to Ford, because that's how it's spelled. So
nice. Indeed, it is Galaxy, and we are sitting here with Nate from In the Whale. And we're going to play that song, Galaxy, in his Oh, well, of course, I have to have the difficulties right away, but that's all right, man. That's Galaxy, and I love that. That's In the Whale. That's good stuff. It makes you, it reminds me of, like you said, the days when I was 16. I didn't have to go anywhere. Just got in the car and had a full tank of gas and just went, man.
Yeah, just
Good
got out.
stuff, man. Good stuff, man. Excellent stuff. We are so very happy to have Nate from In the Whale in the studio. And of course, anything that you heard our outro music,
Yeah, if you look on Facebook and just go In the Whale, you'll be able to find us. Social media platform. Instagram, it's in_whale. Twitter is just In the Whale. And if you look us up online, you'll be able to find us under whalesucks.com.
all right, man. Great stuff from In the Whale. Nate Valdez. Make sure to catch that show's coming up. And of course, the song you just heard, Galaxy. Look out for that video coming out probably around February 2nd. 6 months in the making, so it's going to be a fantastic video. Well, good stuff again. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for coming on in here. You guys are definitely on the rise, man. Nationally known. I think next time I have you or something. It's all good, man. Awesome stuff. And of course, you can check me out right here on the Freeza blog on milehighunderground.com. Check me out next week. That will be up my regular time. We're going to have circle number dot and and also, you can check me out this Saturday on RazRadioLive.com. Me and Wayne, it is the chocolate drop. Somewhat controversial, but always fun. Good time, man. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you again. Again, special thanks to In the Whale. Make sure to check it out tonight. Surfside 7 in Ft.Collins will be the best show. Good stuff. We're out of here. It's the Freeza Block Show. Mile High
Let me give you some minute of your day. I can take you away like that. Give it just a little bit of a second to get back on the right track and stay like that. Stay like that. When I get up on the microphone and rip tracks and have them pass on that. And I'm blasting up toward the top like an astronaut. Let me give you some minute of your day. I can take you away like that. Give it just a little bit of a second to get back on the right track and stay like that. Stay like that. When I get up on the microphone and rip tracks and have them pass on that. And I'm blasting up toward